Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful day in California. It is absolutely beautiful, and I know my friends and family in the Midwest and back east are having snowstorms. So I love snow, but I don't know if I could live in like that snow. If I'm skiing every day, maybe, but I think it's so beautiful, and I do love seeing pictures. Whenever my family members, like in Kentucky, send me pictures, I'm like, I love it so much. But I have to say, California weather, it's like 90 degrees in November. Pretty fantastic. I mean, our politics are shit, but the weather is fantastic. So let's get on the way. What's going on? So, lots of toxic people in our lives. And it was funny. I went to a party on Saturday, and one of the guests I was speaking to, I hadn't seen her in a long time. I just love this lady very much. She's like, "Oh my God, Christy, you should do a podcast." And I started laughing, and my husband's like rolling his eyes, like, no. Like, don't tell her that. And I was telling her, I'm like, oh, I do these YouTube videos. And, I don't do them as frequently because, I'm very busy with the kids and life and enjoying the sunshine. And I just do them as fun whenever I get around to it. And she's like, oh my gosh, I love it. I can't wait to watch them. So it's very funny. When people say stuff like that or message me like, oh, when are you going to do another video? And I'm like, oh, so it's really funny. Toxic people, I feel like, especially like Hispanic Latin people, I feel like we have a lot of toxic people in our lives. So walking into a room, knowing that like these people dislike you or are talking bad about you or anything like that, totally fine with me. I don't care at all. I was talking to my husband about it, and he was just like, I would be so uncomfortable, I wouldn't go. And I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna have someone have that power over me where I'm not going to go somewhere where I really want to go. I want to see like people and enjoy the activity that's going on. There's no way I'm going to let someone have that power and control over me or what I'm going to do. And it took a lot for me to get here. I probably, especially like with family, that took a lot because, it's hard to cut off family. I've cut off my parents. I've cut off my brothers and sisters. I'm one of 7, and I speak to like one sister. And we're a blended family, so stepbrothers, stepsisters, and then 2 were made in that marriage. And it was just toxic from the get-go. And I just didn't want any of that to affect my children. I didn't want my children to accept the dysfunctionality of the relationship as something that's normal, because then that would set them up for having a dysfunctional marriage and then a relationship with their own kids, and it just trickles down generationally. And so I wanted to break that cycle that we all have, that we all grew up with, like having that crazy cousin, that crazy sibling, crazy mom or dad, grandma, whatever it is, someone significant in your life that's super toxic, that is just so detrimental to your like mental health. But you don't know how to do it because they're an immediate part of your family. And I just got like sick and tired of having someone just constantly put me down. Like I was never good enough for them. I was trying to lose weight, and I was like, oh, you're cleaning out your closet. Can I come in, look at some clothes? Because I have to buy a whole new wardrobe. And being told, no, you're still too fat. no thank you. You can't have access to my clothes. I mean, that's the type of dysfunction I grew up with my whole life. I was always called fat. And I was like, when I graduated from college, my mom would tell people I graduated from college with my master's, and I was, it was just my bachelor's, not my master's. And she's like, oh, that's it? You went to college for that long and that's all you got? Like, it was just constant, like, put downs. Like, and mind you, she never even went to college. She did. But yet, I was made to feel inferior. Like, I didn't accomplish anything. And my husband just thinks it is so crazy that I came out like such a positive, such a happy person, friendly, outgoing, and it didn't break me. It didn't break my soul. And that I also didn't treat my children like she treated me, because it's so easy to continue that cycle, because that's all you know is that negativity, that put down. And especially when it comes from someone that's so immediate in your family. I mean, if that's all you know, that's all you know. And so I think when I had asked my mother, I said, why do you treat me like that? I just want you to love me, be proud of me. And she said, well, my mother was very cold to me. And that's just like how I am. And I just was like, well, didn't you want to do anything differently with your own kids? And I never got that answer. I think that was like too deep for her. And so she mothers through cold, withdrawing her love so that you seek her out and she's always on this pedestal. And it's just so horrible. But I didn't get that. I was still always trying to get my mom's attention, her admiration, her praise. And then once I hit like 40, I was like, all bets are off. I'm done. I cannot take this, because now it's trickling down to her behavior towards my kids. And I try to ignore it. I try to excuse it. But then I was like, you know what? What am I doing? I'm just continuing a cycle to trigger down to my children. I don't treat my children like she does, but she's treating my children like she treats me. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? So I just X'd everybody out of my life who is definitely toxic. It started with my siblings first. My older brother is an alcoholic, DUI, 3 times felony, I don't even know. And I was like, there's no way I want this person at my kids' birthday parties, drunk or on drugs. Like, let's scoot him out. I didn't even invite him to my wedding. So I had already started preparing myself to remove these. So the easiest ones I could do were my stepbrother. And then my other stepbrother followed suit. He was arrested for trying to have sex with like a 12-year-old. Like, who wants this type of people in your family? And then they lied about it, right? So he tried to cover it up. But of course, he was on the news and everything. And I'm like, you lied. And like, everybody's like, I didn't know, I didn't see. And like, I would never want this person around my children. So there's another stepbrother I had to go. And my poor husband, totally normal. He's like, what is going on with your family? Like, how are you related to these people? I'm like, I know. And that's why they were not invited to my wedding, because I could see as they were growing up, like how deviant they were getting, how they didn't finish high school. So that's like a red flag, and they weren't trying to better themselves, better their lives. And when you find someone who can't even do like basic life achievements, you don't want them in your family's life, in your children's lives. So those two were already X'd out. I was like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. We're done. Like, no communication, everything just done. No access to my children, no invitation to my wedding, like nothing. And then my stepsister, she proved to be a little devious a little bit later. she married some guy. I don't know how I'm related to these people. It's crazy. My stepsister, she married some guy in the porn industry, and I was like, out, we're done. Totally just like removed everything from these people. And I can't have that, those morally corrupt people near my family. I need to protect my family. And so as I did, that was easier to do. But like the parents were harder to do because, you know, that's your mom, your stepdad, which he took me in and loved me like his own. But there's like, you know, I got to protect the 3 kiddos that I have at all cost. And so that meant removing them completely from my family. And so now I just have like one sister who is like my kiddo. I love her with all my heart. And she is forever in my family. We have similar religious views, family views, and morals. And so, yes, she's definitely in my life forever. But when you have these toxic people, like, you need to start removing them, or else your life becomes shit and you become part of their cycle, and then it trickles down to your kid. So then it's generational abuse and dysfunction, and who wants that for their kids? I mean, I know I didn't. But it definitely took me a lot longer to remove my parents because that was like obviously the most hurtful. But I'm really glad I did, because as soon as I remove the family members, when I meet people in real life, I could tell a mile away who is not going to be a good friend, who is like, doesn't have the best intentions. And so I'm able to remove myself and nowadays block everybody off my social media and just like live happily ever after. It's very essential that you start removing people who don't add any value to your life, your family's life, and protect your children at all costs. And protecting your children at all costs mean protecting yourself, like your mental health, your physical health, because these toxic people will drain you mentally and physically and suck all your attention, suck all your energy. And who wants that? So now that, you know, I've been able to do that, I went into therapy. I saw a marriage and family therapist for a while because, you know, I had a lot of heartache with my son being diagnosed with autism, because, you know, you feel like the guilt, like, oh my God, what did I do? Did I not do enough? So I felt that guilt. Plus, you know, it's just such a sadness when your son is diagnosed, your child is diagnosed with anything as devastating as that. And it is devastating. You know, I felt like I needed to speak to a third party and not a psychiatrist. Not a psychiatrist, because a psychiatrist will right away push drugs on you, push antidepressants on you, you know, and it's good to like acknowledge the depression, the sadness that you are feeling, because these are major issues that are going on in your life and you need to feel them. You need to like deal and process it, like, you know, and grief for all these relationships that you are breaking off, because it is hurtful. You thought, you know, I was raised with my stepbrothers and my stepsisters. I thought we'd all like be one big family and our kids would all grow up with each other. No. And so, you know, those dreams have to die. And so it is good to speak to a marriage and family therapist and deal with that grief and learn how to overcome it and come out the right side, happier, more positive, living like your best life ever, because you don't have anyone pushing you down and suffocating you and making you feel like crap when there's no reason to. you know, you're living your life, you're doing amazing, you have great kids, and everything's coming together. And then you have these outside forces that are deliberately sabotaging your happiness, like deliberate, because they're so miserable. They want you to be miserable with them, like alcoholics. They want to hang around other alcoholics or make you an alcoholic so they have a friend to drink with and like be miserable with. I mean, it's just a cycle. And so, you know, when I walk into a room and there's people that I do not like because I've let them go from my life, I walk in with pure happiness because I know all those people are miserable, unhappy. They look it in their appearance. And I just walk in feeling wonderful, feeling happy, you know, living the good life. My kids are doing amazing. And it's the most perfect revenge you can have on someone is living your life to the fullest, being so happy, so positive, just nailing everything, feeling fantastic. And so you could walk into a room and just be like, ignore, I'm just gonna have a great time here. And that's life right there. Having the best time of your life, enjoying every second, because life is so short and there's no reason for you to be miserable because of other people outside of your four walls. So the four walls are the most important people. Anybody else? Out. Get rid of them. They don't, we don't want them if they're messing within my four walls of my precious people. So that's it. I think I'm going to do another video because I think I have a little bit of time. Normally I'm so busy with all this special needs stuff. Like, you don't understand, when you have a special needs kid, it's so much work. But anyways, I hope that helps you to stay positive. It pushes you to remove those toxic people and relationships because, like, who cares about them? And lead your most amazing, spectacular, strong life. And I hope that makes your day. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.